Hi guys, it's Kai here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build, in case you couldn't tell by like the title and whatnot. But first things first, I feel horrible. Like, you know that like beginning to get sick feeling like in your throat, like your throat just feels gross? Like that's what I feel like right now. Like, I just feel like I'm getting sick. And I'm not into it. And I'm doing everything in my power right now to not get sick, but I think I'm like in denial. Like, I'm gonna get sick. I feel like it's just gonna happen, but I'm fighting it. So the whole reason of me rambling on about that for so long is because I may not make it through this whole video doing a voiceover. We'll make it as long as possible, like as long as I possibly can, but like I said, I'm probably getting sick, and I don't want to talk if I don't need to talk. You know, I feel like you probably don't even want to listen to me talk anyway. Like, I could probably just do this without the voiceover and y'all be okay. But anyways, we're gonna try and make it through as much of this as I possibly can. But if I don't, then I apologize. Obviously, the whole video is still gonna be here, but my mouth is just not gonna be talking. That's all there is to it. But anyways, moving on from that, you know, random side fact that you may or may not care about, obviously this is a speed build. Wow, if I could speak, this is a speed build, in case you couldn't tell from the title and, you know, what I've been doing for the last, like, minute or however long this has been going on for. But, this is a little different, or a little, we'll say just a little different than most of the things that I've done before, because most of the time I feel like when I do my speed builds, they're kind of more traditional looking homes, and that's probably because I tend to like traditional homes more than modern homes. But I decided to challenge myself this time around and do something a little bit different, clearly, because it's a modern house and I usually don't do this. So obviously this is a little different for me. But I spent a good solid like half hour, actually, you know what? It was probably more like an hour. Like, I feel like I spent a good solid hour on Google looking at pictures of modern houses. And man, they are freaking interesting. Like, they are very, very interesting. And like modern, I feel like there's like a whole range of what you could call modern. But I kept finding all of these ones that were very square, and they had a lot of, you know, phone, there we go, let's turn that off. But they were very square, and they were rectangular, and they had, you know, a lot of clean lines, and there wasn't a lot of landscaping, which y'all know I don't like landscaping, so I am all about that life. But that's where I, you know, had the inspiration for this one. Actually, I had one particular inspiration image for this, and I feel like it looks almost pretty identical to my inspiration images. But if I can find it again, I should pop it in here like now, if I can find it. If I don't, then obviously you're not going to see it. But it looks like this. Like, it looks pretty much just like this. But that's also where I got the color inspiration from. So normally, I feel like with modern houses, they're either all gray tones, or they're all like brown tones, or like they're white with like pops of color. Whereas this one was interesting because it is a mixture of gray tones and brown, which is kind of neat. Like, normally you don't put gray and brown together because they normally don't play well. But in this case, I feel like it worked out pretty well because the outside is pretty much all like gray and white. And then the trim and the roof are like deep dark wood tones, and same with all the, you know, the windows and the doors and stuff. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Sorry, nose is running. Break. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, interesting because of the colors. And then also interesting because of the landscape. Like, you saw me doing the landscaping. That's pretty much all I did. Like, I don't think there's really much any landscaping in the back. Like, I put stuff in the backyard, but there's not really any landscaping. So, like I said, in this inspiration picture, the landscaping is very interesting because they mainly only had like potted plants sitting on top of gravel. So I was like, well, that's cool, I guess. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but it was my favorite for building because then I didn't really have to do anything. So that's awesome, right? Like I said, you guys know I don't like landscaping, but it's whatever. I guess I just have to suck it up and do it sometimes, even though I don't want to. But anyway, also from the title of this video, if you couldn't tell, and also now that we're like 5 minutes into this is in 2 parts because it took me so long to do. And I don't know why it took me so long to get that sentence out. But 2 parts, 2 like 12, 15-ish minute parts, because, oh my god. So normally when I build something, it takes me roughly, I'd say 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how detailed it is. And this this freaking house took me 3.5 hours to build and furnish. Ugh. And it was over the course of a couple days too. Like I did it in like 3 1-hour sessions. So like I said, roughly 3 hours to build this whole thing. And it was a pain in the butt. Like I kept doing one section and I'd be like, okay, I'm tired of doing this. And then I'd stop. And then I'd come back to it and I'd be like, okay, I'm tired of doing this. And then I'd stop and come back to it. And also there's like a weird living room situation going on, and you may or may not see it in the video, but I kept going over to it and like looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So then I'd move on or just stop working on this house. So I feel like the reason it took me so long is, one, because I'm not used to doing modern houses, and two, I didn't really have a plan for how I was gonna decorate this house. Like I planned on nothing, actually. I didn't, like I said, I did not plan on how to decorate this house at all. It just kind of started happening, and I'm actually really kind of happy with the way it turned out. So again, from the title, in case you didn't look at it, I called it vintage modern or modern vintage, whatever, you know, a combination of those two words. And that's because the outside and a lot of the interior furnishings are very modern, but then I also included more like vintage touches, which I thought was interesting because it's like a cool combination of the two styles. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but there is nothing that's like super strictly modern in this game. Like there's things that you, I guess, could call modern, but they're not my favorite. They're not, you know, very good looking. So that's why I ended up kind of mixing the two. And if I were to have a modern house, which I don't think I would, because like modern's like my least favorite house style or whatever, but if I were to have one, this is probably what it would end up looking like, because it's got like all sorts of cool stuff on the inside and like colored walls and whatnot. Not all the walls are colored, just in the bedrooms, certain ones are colored. But this is definitely how my house would end up looking like I said, if I had a modern house. But I don't think I'd ever have a modern house because I'm just not into modern. It's not detailed enough for me. But I tried doing that with this one. So there's like some areas that are sort of detailed, or super detailed actually, like the study thing that I do. I feel like it's not super detailed, but detailed more than like the backyard. Like the backyard's not very detailed. And I'm all over the place right now with this conversation. I don't know if you guys can keep up. Like my mind is going like a mile a minute over here, and I can't even keep up with my own thoughts. But anyway, modern, vintage, we put them together, and I feel like it looks pretty cool. You can obviously download this on the gallery and all that jazz. Am I making it through the video? I'm like halfway through. I can do this. We got this. Oh yeah, but the rugs in this game, now that I'm looking at myself putting the rugs down, I don't like them. Anyone else feel me with the rugs? Like, I don't like them. Like, I like a lot of I like this one rug that I put down with the gold zebra on it and all the variations that it has. I like that rug. But all the other rugs, I feel like, are weird sizes, weird shapes, and they have weird patterns on them. Like, what kind of rugs do I want? I want fun patterns and colors, but I also want basic patterns and colors in normal people sizes. Because these rugs are just, I don't know. I feel like I can't work with them. In case you guys didn't notice, I deleted the room like 2 or 3 times at this point. No, it's my bad, because I was like trying to pick something up and then hit delete, and it's like, thank God for the undo button. Because, oh my God, I would have killed somebody if I accidentally deleted that. And these freaking lights, now that I'm looking at them, sorry, I keep getting distracted, but these lights that I put next to that mirror, I didn't even know they existed. Like, those are cool freaking lights. Like, I wish I had those in real life. Like, they look like geodes or like rocks or something. Geodes and rocks are the same thing. Kaylin, get it together. But they look like rocks, like hanging rock things on the wall, which I thought was pretty neat. And then you could kind of see me looking at that little area that I did not want to deal with, because I feel like this house really needed a living room-ish type situation, but I could not figure out how to fit it into that area because it was such a funky shape. Like, this whole house is a really weird shape. Like, if you look at it, I believe I have screenshots not in this video, but in the next part of this video. I have screenshots looking from the top down, like, for the floor plan. This is a funky house shape, which is kind of cool because it's unique and modern-ish, I guess. We should call it modern-ish. That's what the name of this house should be, modern-ish. But it's a weird shape, and it made it kind of hard to lay the rooms out. So this actually only has one bedroom. I mean, I guess technically you could make this other room, like this study, you can make it into a bedroom if you wanted to, but that's not the kind of sim that I picture living here. Like, the people or the sims that I picture living here are like young adult to adult, either 1 or 2 sims that are rich, obviously, because this probably is pretty expensive. I didn't even check. This is probably pretty expensive though. But they travel a lot. That's why they have all these weird things. Like, once I started doing this, it started making sense in my head. I was like, oh, that's what it's gonna be. That's why they have all these funky things in their modern houses, because they travel all around the world and see all this culture and like eclectic stuff and then bring it home. So that was my thinking for that. But that's why I feel like 1 bedroom in this house works pretty well, because that's the type of sim that I picture living here. Granted, you can do whatever the heck you want with this house once you download it. If you download it, I don't care if you download it. It's there if you want to download it. But I picture just 1 sim, you know, doing their thing, making lots of money, hanging out, you know, having parties and all that jazz, not necessarily having kids run around here. I don't think I'd ever let a kid in this house, because I'd be like, please don't touch anything. You're gonna break it. You're gonna mess it up. Like, that would not be good. Not be good having toddlers or something in this house. No. Don't put toddlers in this house. If you do, show me. Tell me if they break anything, because, you know, they probably would. They most definitely would. Toddlers break things. Babies and kids, they break things. They break things, they ruin things. This isn't on topic. How did we get on this topic? How did I manage to get on the topic of toddlers breaking things? I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this. But anyway, this house is interesting. Oh, and the bathrooms. The bathrooms I feel like turned out pretty cool. 2-ish bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So you have the master bathroom that's upstairs, like in the studio. And then you have, you know, the one at the bottom that you could see. But those I did in just black and gold. And the upstairs one is my absolute favorite. And you'll see that, you know, in the second video. But anyways, I'm only showing 1 screenshot because I don't want to show off, you know, too much or anything. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!